welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. Nowadays I am making a series of videos for the beginners for this simulator, and in this regard I am using the Cessna 172, which is equipped with Garmin G1000. Very good navigation device, and if you know how to do flights with the G1000, how to fly this plane on autopilot, then you will be really enjoying many other planes in this simulator. So far I have uploaded a video regarding the flight planning, how to start this plane and how to fly this plane on autopilot. The links are given in the description. This video is about the ILS approach and landing. I'm doing this short flight from Lahore to Islamabad, and soon I will be landing at Islamabad International Airport. So right now everything is going good. I'm cruising at 6,000 feet and the speed is 98 knots. And the plane is actually following the flight path, so everything is good so far. Now let's prepare this plane for the landing and for the approach. So let's have a look at the arrival chart, or which is also known as the STAR, Standard Terminal Arrival. Now there are a few things that you have to do over here. Either you can do it from here, or what I can do is this, just to make everybody's life simple. I can just bring this view over here, press tab, and I can get the tab over here. This is magical. Now you have to set actually the runway and the approach. So runway 28 right will be used for the landing. I will be landing at this runway, and yeah, I can change the procedure. Either I want to have an ILS approach, localizer, VFR pattern, or VOR. So there are different basically types of approaches. I will be using ILS, and this is 28 right Z. If you want to change the procedure, you can change it, otherwise just keep it like this. That's it. Now what I can do is this, I can click this option and I can have access to the charts for this airport, Islamabad International Airport, 28 right, arrivals. Let's not look at the departures. Obviously you'll be looking at the arrivals, 28 right, and you can filter out. As you can see all as well, and this is all as well, and 28 right. So if you click this, you will be able to see the star over here. So at ISDO your altitude should be 6,000 feet, and if I press tab again, you can see I'm already flying at 6,000 feet, and that's it. Then there is a speed constraint. Obviously I'm not flying a big plane, so I'm below 220 knots. So I will be just coming from this point, Indec, as you can see it over here, Indec, and then I will go to ISDO. This is the point, and then from there I'll turn left and go for the approach and the final approach. Let's bring up the final flight plan as well, and over here so right now you can see this cursor is blinking because it means the plane is actually going towards Akbar. So now after Akbar it will go to Indec. So this is being changed, as you can see. The heading is also coming, and plus the distance to Indec is also coming, and then to different waypoints, and the altitudes are also coming. If you want to scroll through the flight plan, you can do this. Let me just go back again. Flight plan. Let's press it. So you can scroll through these points and just bring your cursor over here. As soon as you see this hand sign, press left mouse button right, and then you can have a view of all the points. Now you can see at different points, different altitude is coming. At this point, this is IBIP 6. This is the final approach fix. You should be at 3,700 feet. Why it's coming like this? Let's have a look at it. So press tab and bring this tab over here. Let's go back, and instead of arrival, let's go for the approach, because you know you have the arrival procedure, how you arrive at an airport, and then you have an approach procedure. So let's say if you are going to land at runway 10, left or right, your arrival procedure remains the same for Islamabad International Airport. Maybe for other airports it's different, but the arrival procedure remains same. You come to Indec, you come to ISDO, but instead of taking this path, the plane actually goes left like this, and then comes and lands again. So that's basically the approach procedure. So arrival and approach are two different things. So first you have arrival, and then you have approach. So I will be landing at 28 right. So for 28 right, this is the procedure that we are using. Selected, as you can see, it's highlighted in green, so it's the active one. Just go over here and then have a look at the approach plate, and we will get some information over here. So now this is the approach plate. If you're coming from SDOM, this is the point. You will just go in this heading 315 degrees. Then at this point, Phoenix, you should be at 3,700 feet, and then you will go towards this point. And what is the final approach fix? This is just near the runway 6. So D6. This is basically 6 nautical miles away from the runway. D6 means DME. DME is actually distance measuring equipment. So this tells you how far you are from the runway. Heading of the runway is 278 degrees. ILS, or the localizer, frequency is 110.7. As I've told you before, this is a ground-based navigation device, and it emits signals. The plane picks up the signals, and it knows whether it's aligned with the runway or not, left or right, and plus it's following the glide path or the glide slope. So this is the glide slope. So at Phoenix, I will be at 3,700 feet, right over here. Then the plane will keep on flying in this on this altitude, 3,700. We'll come to this point, and from this point, the plane will start to descend towards the runway. Angle of 3 degrees, and the descent rate would automatically calculated by the plane, but 3 degrees down, and then it will touch the runway. That's it. So this is the information that you need. All you have to do is this: enter the ILS information over here in this plane, G1000. So 110.7, and the name is also coming for the localizer, IBIP. It's an identifier, and plus the Morse code is also coming. 110.7. Press tab again, get rid of it, and let's enter this frequency over here. Press left mouse button and right click. Now this is the active. Yeah, 110.7. That's it. Now press this button, swap, and this will now be the active frequency. If you want to track this frequency, just get rid of the yoke, and you can have this information over here on the primary flight display. Just go to this primary flight display options, and then click this option, bearing 1, and that's it. Now you have the ILS coming over here, nav 1. You can have nav 2 and ADF as well, and GPS. So right now the plane is following the GPS, so you'll get the GPS information over here, how far it is from the next waypoint, what is the heading of the next waypoint, and plus if you press this, you will get the ILS nav 1. So right now, as the plane is far, so that's why it's not picking up the frequency, but as soon as I'm near this airport, then it will start picking up the information regarding this. That's it. And plus if you press DME as well, you will start to get this more information over here. As you can see, nav 1 110.7. This is the frequency for the ILS, and then it will start telling me the distance. But for this, I have to be near the airport. So what I can do is this: for bearing 1, I can have the ILS information, and for bearing 2, I can have the GPS track. Or what I can do is this: I can also track the VR for Islamabad International Airport. So you can see this VR is coming. It comes like this. You can see. Let me just zoom in. It is showing you this VR. It comes like this over here. Although, if you're looking at the Navigraph charts, it's a bit different. But over here in these charts, you have this kind of a circle and dot in the middle, and then you have a frequency. The name of the identifier for this VR is BTR, and the frequency is 114.6. So for the other channel, I can have 114.6. So let's bring the mouse over here. Left click, right click. It's now here. And let's make it the active frequency, 114.6 BTR. You can see the name or the identifier is coming, so it means you are tracking the right VOR. If I press bearing 2, so instead of ILS, I'm not tracking the ILS on this, I will be tracking nav2 BTR. So it's now telling me it's 107 nautical miles away, and the heading is 326. Now, although the heading for this BTR is 278, because you'll be coming like this, and then you will be intercepting this straight line. If you draw a straight line, you have to intercept it at some point, and then you have to turn left for the landing. So that's why it's 278. But right now it's telling you 326 degrees, because as per the current position of the plane, this is over here. So this is 326 degrees, but it will keep on changing. So let's also track the viewer. We track the viewers because in case if the ILS is not working or the GPS is not working, in case of any failure, you have your viewer also there. Now for the heading button, I will set it to 278. As you can see, this is the heading 278. So you can see right now its heading is 282. So let's move it to 278. Because now what I'm going to do is this. I'm actually going to, as soon as I've crossed ISRO, then I will start the descent to 3,700 feet. I will just adjust the altitude over here. Let's do it by moving the larger knob, 4,000, and then I can move the small one to 3,700. Right now, I will not descend, but as soon as I've cleared ISRO, then I will start the descent by pressing vertical speed, and then I can, I will go with the nose down. During the descent, I will just try to keep the speed again at 75 or 70 knots, and for the approach, good speed is 65 knots. So this is how I will be adjusting the throttle to basically control the speed. So everything is now set, and I think I have covered everything. Now then, there is another thing that you can do in this plane. You can have your top of descent calculations. Now, top of descent is actually a point from where you start the descent, and it's coming over here. As you can see, TOD is coming, top of descent, just right before ISRO. This descent is coming because I'm flying at 6,000 feet, and obviously by this point I should be at 6,000 feet. It's mentioned over here, so that's why it's coming. If I press the flight plan, you will start to see this information for the active VNAV profile. VNAV is basically vertical navigation, whether to go up, down, at what rate you should be going up or down. So this is actually the VNAV navigation. So for this plane, obviously right now the VNAV is being used for the descent and for the landing. The waypoint is ISRO, and the top of descent will begin in the next 48 minutes. So it will take the plane to 48 minutes to reach this point. I can cancel the VNAV and everything will disappear, and I can enable VNAV. I did this because initially you could see at ISRO there was nothing was coming, so that's why you have to fix it. So we have to cancel it once, enable it, and that's it. Now the target feet per minute, or the target descent rate should be 571, 72 feet. So the plane actually does it automatically. You really don't have to do anything. All you have to do is this: adjust your altitude to the altitude to which you want to descend. I've already adjusted it to 3,700, but I haven't pressed any button. So plane will keep on flying at 6,000 feet. So whether near this point, when the top of descent is there, I can press vertical speed and then adjust the nose up and down myself to actually have a proper descent profile, or magical button VNAV. If I press this button, the plane will start to descend itself to 3,700 feet, and it will actually follow this target descent rate. So it's really magical. So once I'm near this point, I will show you. So this is how the VNAV thing works in this plane. G1000 is really a very nice and powerful device, nice GPS device. And the best thing about Cessna is this, that if you don't want to fly this plane on autopilot, you can fly it yourself in order to have a good control over the plane. It's really nice. If you really want to practice, then you can go back to Cessna 152. No autopilot, nothing. You have to fly it yourself. Now the plane is near top of descent. Let's do a few things, and let's first of all adjust the altimeter. So let's get the barometric pressure in Islamabad. If I just I can go from here. Actually, this is a new flight simulator, getting used to it. So it's 1017. So let's adjust it over here, the altimeter. 1017. It's now adjusted. And right now you can see this line is broken. It should be connected to this point. So after ISRO, there should be a line for Linux. So let's see if the plane doesn't follow this path, then we can do a few things. Fly in the heading mode, and then turn left. Right now you can see the VOR is being tracked for Islamabad International Airport, BTR 306 degrees. This is on the left. So as soon as the plane keeps on going far, this heading will keep on reducing. It's actually 278. So you can see this arrow. This is actually tracking and this VOR, so we know where it is. This is the heading bug, our intended heading. This is right now the desired course, 349 degrees, and the plane is going at 349 degrees. So this is how you read the primary flight display. With some flights, you will just get used to it. During the descent, I will reduce the throttle and I will keep the speed at 80 knots. So once the plane starts to descend, the speed will increase. So that's why you have to reduce the throttle in order to control the speed. Remember this thing, that if you're carrying out maneuvers at high speed, then there are chances you will be missing your approach or your flight path. But if you are at a good speed, you can easily control the plane, and it's easy to take turns as well. If on the turns, obviously, the plane is at a high speed, longer radius is required. So for this plane, in order to have better control, you should reduce the speed. It should be in the controlled mode. Now you can see the nav information. Nav 1 information is also coming for the ILS, which is 110.7. This is the ILS frequency, 19.2 nautical miles. Now one thing, in order to follow this nav 1, in order to have a proper ILS approach, I will be changing the CDI to this mode rather than the GPS mode. Now you can see the plane is out of this GPS mode. Roll mode again. I can press this nav mode again to take it back. So remember this thing, every time when you change any information over here by pressing the CDI, the plane actually gets out of this the mode it is in right now. So that's why you have to adjust it. So now I have crossed ISDO, top of descent 22 seconds away, 20 seconds. Now I've set the altitude. I will descend to 3,700 feet. This is the point at which I will be intercepting the glide slope. And when I say intercepting the glide slope, I will just explain it to you right now, what actually I mean. So now you can see 5. I can press VNAV, and now you can see V path is coming, vertical path. So now the plane will actually start to descend. Now the next point is Phoenix, and then the plane will actually go to a final approach fix, which is roughly 6, not roughly, exactly 6 nautical miles away from the runway. So final approach fix is always like this, just 6 nautical miles before the runway. Now let's see if the plane is descending. The descent should have started. I think I didn't reduce the speed. So what I can do is this, I can use vertical speed, and then I can press down, and the plane will actually follow. Keep on reducing the throttle. So right now the vertical speed is 900 feet per minute. Usually this VNAV thing, it works even at higher speeds. I think there was this discontinuity due to which maybe I think this happened. But you can also do this. I will explore why it never happened. But anyhow, you always have the option of using vertical speed in order to, descend. Right now it's 9 feet per minute. You can see it was going at a high speed. That's why I didn't reduce the throttle, just to show you. So you can further reduce the throttle and let the speed go down. I can further reduce the throttle. So desired track is 280 degrees. The plane should be turning towards the runway at this point. The speed is now reducing. Now this is blinking. It means 1,000 feet to go to 3,700. So everything is looking good so far. I think it further reduce because I have a very high descent rate. Maybe I can just pitch up a bit to reduce the speed. Get some more RPMs. Let's now control the speed by controlling the vertical speed. So instead of, adjusting the throttle, we can do this. If I go up, obviously the speed will reduce. The throttle remains constant. And the plane is now at 3,700. So this is how you manage the descent. Now you can see the speed is reducing. So just give throttle so that the speed remains at 80 knots. You can see the RPMs. Let's wait for the plane to turn left. If it doesn't, then yes, it's turning left, so it's good. So if there is any break over here in the flight plan, just wait for it. Otherwise, I could have taken this plane out of the nav mode and would have put it in the heading mode. Right now, you can see the desired track is now 279. So now the plane is aligned with the runway. So we'll go straight. Now at this point, when the plane is flying like this, it's aligned with this runway. And you can see that the final approach fix is 5.8 nautical miles away. What I can do is this. Instead of now flying in the GPS mode, I can fly in the heading mode. So now the plane is flying in the heading mode. And let's move this to CDI, to this option, localizer 1. So now it's following the localizer. If I press it again, it's following the VOR. It's now following the GPS, and now it's following the localizer. So now the ILS is slightly towards the right side. As you can see, this ghost deflection indicator is showing you that it's on the right side. So I can adjust the heading, and we'll make some little bit of adjustments in order to intercept this line. As you can see, I'm a bit off. So now you have to fly in the heading mode, and you have to change it to localizer by pressing CDI so that you can get this glide slope information. So there will be this diamond which will show you whether you are following the glide slope or not. Let me just adjust the heading. So I have to make some little changes. 178. Now you can see heading is 278, and this is in the middle, so I'm aligned with the runway. I think, can I see the runway? Yeah, you can see. So 28 left and 28 right. So these two runways are there. So now this is good. So as I was talking to you about this this diamond, if you are near the runway or the airport, and this diamond is over here above this center line, then you're coming at a good altitude. Then at certain point you will be intercepting the glide slope over here, and when it will come in the middle, I will just show you over here. So approaches, like I told you before, as we were looking at it. So at this Renix you should be at 3,700 feet, and then over here at the final approach fix you should be again at 3,700 feet. So you will keep on flying like this in a straight line at an altitude of 3,700 feet. Now at this point, actually this diamond will move to the middle, and then you will press this option approach, and the plane will automatically start to follow this glide slope. Actually GP is written as glide path as well, but usually when you are doing ILS approach you call it glide slope, and for VNAV approach you call it the glide path. Sorry, I said VNAV. It's actually RNAV approach or RNP approach. Excuse me for that. Okay, now let's make some adjustments in the heading. As you can see, heading I'm changing 284 because I was slightly off. Then I can just go back to 278 in order to properly follow this line. Now you can see this diamond has started to move in the middle. So it means I'm just somewhere here. and soon I will be here. And at this point, I will intercept the glide slope. So this is what intercept the glide slope mean. Then I can further reduce the speed. I will keep it at 65 knots for the landing, and I will extend the flaps. As I've told you before, the flaps actually provide drag, which help the plane to reduce the speed, and also it provides lift at lower speed. And for this, I'm going to go for full flap landing. Now you can see I'm also this viewer also there in the center. This arrow is following towards this viewer, but it's slightly off because as this viewer is in the middle of the two runways, so it will be slightly towards the left side, but I'm following this localizer. Now as this diamond is coming in the middle, I can approach, activate approach, pressing this button, and now you will see the descent has started. With this I can reduce the RPM. So now the magic of this approach button is this, that the plane will actually follow this diamond, this glide slope, and plus you can see the autopilot is making a little bit of adjustments to keep this line in the middle so that we are properly aligned with the runway. So now I can start extending the flaps, and you will see as soon as I will start extending the flaps, the speed will reduce drastically. So you have to adjust the throttle in such a way, otherwise the plane will stall. You can see speed was reducing a lot, so I have to give throttle. So that's how you adjust it. Let's go with the full flap and let's give more throttle. So let's keep the speed at 65 knots, and plus turn on the taxi and the landing lights. Now you can see the taxi and landing lights are also on. All the lights are working, everything is good. The plane is following the glide and the speed is reducing, so let's give more throttle. Just if you keep the runway between these two screws, I'm just giving you an idea because once you're landing, you're just looking at the runway. So then you are like runways in the middle. So I'll keep the speed at 60 knots, and plus you can also see the runway over here in the primary flight display. So everything is looking good so far, and now in the flight mode annunciator, you can see LOC is coming, localizer, it means we are following the localizer, autopilot is on, and the plane is following the glide slope. So it's really a good habit to keep an eye on the FMA in order to know that what kind of a mode your plane is in and what's actually happening. And now you can see the distance is also coming 2.2 nautical miles away from the runway. In Cessna 152, it's a very simple plane. It only has two the CDI course deflection indicators and nothing else. So you don't even know the distance. But this is a good thing about this plane. Then there is another variant of 172 available in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which has Garmin G530 and 430. That is also good. But for Cessna 152, there is nothing, no DME. But G1000 is good. Okay. So at any time, I can just turn off the autopilot and try to land the plane myself. And can we see the PAPI lights also? There should be
500.
Right now. In this version of the Microsoft Flight Simulator, they are not coming. There should be lights over here. So now I can deactivate the autopilot by pressing this button, autopilot, and then I can just take control of the plane and just try to land it. I will just try to keep this diamond in the middle. So if it goes down, I go down. If it goes up, I go up. It's very simple. So that's how you control your vertical speed in order to land. Just 10 feet above the runway, I will perform a flare. It is like I'll pitch up and the nose a bit, and I will reduce the thrust or keep it in idle. So I will be targeting this point for the landing, slightly off the center line. Let's reduce the throttle, pitch up a bit, and idle. And let's apply brakes to stop the plane. So that's how you perform an ILS approach and landing with this plane. So hopefully all the series of the videos that I've made for you for this plane, they were useful for you. You have learned a lot, and that's it. So if you've got any questions, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you want to add anything to this video, the comment section is there for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.